Hello everyone, welcome along to the Under-16 Boys Grand Final. Southern Wolves taking on Hobart Phoenix here. Ronnel Riggs in commentary. We'll have Nicky Martin in and out throughout the day. He's just stepped out to watch a few other games as well. We've got the Shield Grand Finals happening as well too. So as we get into the business end of the day, we're halfway through. So this should be a good matchup. Two good teams here with a couple of state reps in this side as well too. And we'll mention them out through the game. So Marie French and Nick Draper on this one as we are underway. Southern Wolves control it to the right of your screen, and we've got Riley Banks here, and then some quick pressure there by Harry McLeod. And then Jackson Collins here to get it back and restart us off. So the ball, Chaplin now back to Collins. Nice move by Jackson Collins. Can't get that two to go. And Lockie Simons was in there and drew a foul. Of course, our referees are Marie French and Nick Draper. I might have said that about 30 seconds ago, so apologies there. A lot happening here today. So Lennon, closely guarded by Collins. Now McLeod into Simons for three. Can't get that to go. And then good work by Davey. Back to McLeod. Kick out to Simons. Good two-man touch. Good pass into Mounter, who makes the two there. And we are got scoring underway here in the first quarter. There's Bone. Has it on the baseline, goes himself. Can't get the reverse to go. Gets his own rebound and gets the two to go. So Davey, and here's Simons. So Lennon working some moves there. Back to Davey. McLeod puts it to the floor, gets the on ball, goes himself in and out on that one. Now Collins with the rebound. So Collins off and running here. And just off to Chaplin, back to Bone here. Here's Banks. So Banks pulls up for three and Banks at home. And the bank has been open throughout Saturday morning and it's certainly showing here today. So Lennon. Here's Davey looking for Mounter, but doesn't go that way. Goes to McLeod instead. So McLeod now Simons. Davey goes for it. Can't get that one to go off glass. Bone with the ball as we come up the floor. So Bone working his way through, and yeah, a bit of lost balance there on both players, and Mounter from behind. The unfortunate recipient on the foul. That's one of those unfortunate plays there where kind of both players kind of lose their footing to a degree. So Bone works it one-on-one against Mounter, goes off glass, and nice work there by Jacoby Bone. Here's Simons with it. So Wolves out to a quick 5-point lead, 7-2 here. As Lennon goes up, can't get the two to go. And rebound by Hay. Now Bone bringing this one up here for Southern Wolves. So Banks. So Bone goes for three. Short on that one. McLeod had a piece of that, but then Banks able to recover. Cross court. Collins puts it to the floor. And a foul there for reaching from behind. It's going to be assessed on Will Davey. Ball with Hay. Now Banks. Banks puts it to the floor. Good defensive work by McLeod. Ball kicked back out to Hay into Bone, who was cutting through, but good hands by Hobart Phoenix to get that one back. Now the ball up the floor here through Simons, but again the light blue lines here at the Kingdom Sports Centre on our show court, and the ball goes out of bounds. So play restarts. As Banks comes up the floor here. So Banks putting it to the floor. Now Bone. Well, indecisive there, but there's Chaplin. Now back to Bone. Thinks about shot clock at 5. Some Wolves need to get busy. Collins with a quick trigger 3, but stepped out of bounds. Yeah, light blue line, as Charlotte Collins mentions out. We have got our effects mic on, so we're hearing some sounds of the game. And Simons with an errant pass, and Len not able to retrieve that one back. So Collins to restart into Bone, and couldn't get the clean catch. Bowled up one, ball goes out of play. And substitution, Eden Hills is going to come in. And Campbell Mounter going to have a breather. Simons with it. Now Hills. Ball down low into Lennon. That's a better play from Hobart Phoenix. Nice ball movement, and inside Lennon was able to finish quickly up the floor. Turnover by the Wolves as McLeod picks that one off. Off and running, goes himself, and it was a good option. And now Hobart Phoenix have got on a bit of a roll and bring this game back to 1 after the Southern Wolves got off to a very quick start. So Bone now to Banks. Banks slowing this one down. Has to kick it through. Collins goes baseline, pull up Jay, is short. Hills with the rebound. Now Davey off and running. Has got Banks to beat and tries to go himself. Lennon there for the O board, and another 2. Now Hobart Phoenix take the lead by 1, 8-7. And it'll be a blocking foul on Harry McLeod. Tommy Bennett looking to check in. And it will be Bailey Chaplin having the braver. All right, so Corey Daving getting an explanation from referee Marie French on something. Not sure. Banks from downtown, and can't get that to go. Lennon with the rebound, and Davey coming up the floor here. So Hills, now Simons. Back to Hills here. Gets the on ball as McLeod goes himself and gets the 2. Nice drive by Harry McLeod. All of a sudden, 3-point margin now. And another turnover here for the Wolves as Hills bobbles that one up, and Southern Wolves get it back. And yes, Charlotte Collins will go for the timeout button here. So the team trails by 3, 10 plays 7. And what was a very quick start for Southern Wolves, and Hobart Phoenix are able to work their way back into that quarter here. And now they lead it by 3. So good crowd in attendance throughout the day. There's been moving crowds galore. It was more packed in that under-14s final, a little bit lesser in the final here, but still a good crowd though. And we do have the Shield finals happening as well too. So lots happening here on Super Saturday as we come to you from the Kingborough Sports Centre here by the West Coast Ball Connection YouTube channel. So both teams in their huddles. CD, of course, a former Hobart Chargers player, many years of experience, and knows what it takes to win a championship, and has been there, done that. And he's assistant coach, and his brother Dwayne Davey there as well too, and Charlotte Collins, who has done a terrific job with these boys and has done a very good job with her coaching over many years, and great to see her in another grand final appearance as well too. So this will be, it's a good matchup so far, and like I say, a little bit of nerves probably to start for both teams, but now I think both teams are settled, and we're going to see a good game here this afternoon as we do rock in from the late morning into the afternoon here. There's Banks with the ball. So Banks working his way through. Now Bone thought about it. kind of goes over Lennon, who's his state teammate there, and couldn't get the two, but then good O-board there by Bennett, and then Bennett tries to go again, can't. Hay with the tip, can't get that to go over. Lennon with the rebound, and then a foul on the play, and I think that's going to be on Collins there, having an arm involved there on Davey. So McLeod getting a little bit stuck, now has to give it off to Davey. Hughes, Bone with the interception, nice work, as Bone now gets the two. And back to a 1 point ball game, 10-9 as Davey quickly comes up the floor here. Slows this one down, gives it to McLeod. Now Simons. Lennon thought about it, but now gives off to Davey. Davey looking inside, but needs to go to McLeod for the three, and that short arm there. So the ball with Banks as we come up the floor here. So Banks makes the two as our cameraman gets some supplies, which we need to make sure we give our cameraman some supplies of food because he's been working hard here. And Lennon, but no, Hobart Phoenix were able to get an 8-second violation there. Good pressure by the Southern Wolves. So substitution in, Ayrton Chopping comes in. Will Davey has a rest. So we'll see what happens on this possession here. So Bone. Now Collins. Banks with it now. Shot clock at 8. Some Wolves need to get busy. Banks thought about it. Goes to Bennett. Bennett needs to get out. Shot clock at 2. Shot needs to go up from Collins. It does. Can't get it to go. Hay with the rebound. And good work by Lennon to force a held ball there. And Hobart Phoenix getting on the possession arrow. So Hills working his way up. Simons back to Hills. Good two-man game and drew it a foul. So going to be assessed on Jackson Collins. So Eden Hills at the line for two. Now Eden had a bit of an injury there for a bit of the stretch of the season. And was out for a little while. Great to see him back on the floor. Of course, talking to his dad at the gym most nights when I've been there. It's great to see that Eden has made a full recovery, and great to see him back out on court. And can't get the second to go. Bone with the rebound. Now Bone coming up the floor here. Some good pressure, good double team there. Banks now to Bennett. Bennett nearly loses it, but regains it and draws a foul. It's going to be on Lachlan Simons. So Tommy Bennett at the line for two. A good young kid who's come through to some Wolves club. Played all his junior ball there. And certainly we'll try not to put the mockers on him. He missed the first free throw. And makes the second free throw. So 11 plays 12. Here's Hills. Back to Hills, now chopping. Goes inside to Lennon, back out. Three goes up by McLeod, can't get the go. Hay with the rebound. Now Banks with it. So Banks looking to explore. Try to put the moves on, but lost the handle. Hills off and running as Lennon in support. Doesn't need it, but goes up himself. Bennett gets the board. Good scraps as bodies hit the floor. And then Collins gets fouled from behind by Chopping. And now does that see Hobart in the foul limit? It does. So Jackson Collins will go to the line for two as Hobart have got 5 team fouls. 2:10 remaining in the first quarter. So Collins at the line here for 2. Of course, Jackson Collins was named as a reserve in the state under 16 state side. Certainly has worked hard on his game, changed his shooting style a little bit as well too. Certainly making some good adjustments in his game. So misses the free throw on that occasion. They're up by 2, 13-11 here as Bennett gets it low. Banks from area code range, just a bit flat on that one as McLeod gets it and off and running. These numbers in support. He goes solo and it was in and out on the layup. And then Lennon gets the O board and gets the 2 to go. That's going to be Jackson Collins' second foul in this first quarter. And Charlotte Collins having a discussion with referee Nick Draper. And yep, Charlotte Collins is going too far, so she'll get a warning. So yeah, tied at 13 here. Can Charlie Lennon make it 14 for Hobart? He cannot. Bone with the rebound. So thank you, Mr. Cameraman. As Bennett just runs out of room. He drew a foul. I thought he actually ran out of room there. Of course, the light blue lines here at the Kingborough Sports Centre. For those of you tuning in. And Tommy Bennett will go to the line now for 2. So Will Davey looking to check back in. And Lockie Simon's coming out. So Tommy Bennett back at the line. This is the first. And can't make the second. Davey now to Chopping. Chopping has McLeod in support, uses him. And it was good teamwork there by Hobart Fangs to get the layup through McLeod, but great work by Chopping to recognise the running Harry McLeod. And now they're up by 2. 15-13 here, under 90 seconds to play. Term number 1. Hay. Now to Ma. Ma thought about it. Now Banks from area code range again, trying his luck from deep. Now McLeod off and running as Banks to beat, goes to Lennon on support and gets the 2. So out to 4 points here now. 17-13. It's Banks. Slows this one down. Now goes to Hay. Hay, and that's a travel. He did shuffle his feet before putting it to the floor, so travel on that one. And it looks like Chaplin coming back in. Banks is going to have a breather. Bone and Hay, the only 2 starters out on the floor here for Southern Wolves. While it's McLeod, Davey, the only 2, and Lennon are the 3 starters still out on the floor. Davey puts it to the floor. Goes up, drew the foul. He'll go to the line for 2. So Will Davey at the line. Will Davey makes the first. Makes the second, marching out to 6 here, 42 to go. There's Bone, looks at his options here. Now Hay in turn to Chaplin. Back to Bone. So Bone working his way through, step through, tough make, but can't get it to go. Now Hills with it. Hills looking for Davey, but Hills goes himself. Hay there able to, well, she passed it to referee Marie French. I don't know if Marie is involved in the game from a playing aspect, but ball goes out of bounds on that play. 17.5 remaining here. So Lennon. Now McLeod, nice post move, but just rushed on the shot. Bone. Now Hay, as pressure galore is happening. Pass to Bennett. So Bennett now goes himself and drew a foul on the last play. Corey Davey asking maybe for an 8-second violation, but I don't think they're going to get it. But Tommy Bennett will go to the line here to round out the first quarter. So Tommy Bennett here to see if he can bring back the margin. Not on the first, but can he make it a 5-point ball game? And makes the second. So quarter time sees Hobart Phoenix up by 5, 19-14. And we'll come back with the second quarter right after this. Second quarter about to get underway here from the Kingross Sports Centre, under 16 boys grand final. Southern Wolves taking on Hobart Phoenix. It's Hobart Phoenix up by 5, 19-14. As both teams need to probably get out of the huddle. So we've got to keep trucking along here. So both teams coming out with a pretty good first quarter. Those momentum kind of came back to Hobart Phoenix. And after some Wolves did make a nice start. So let's see how the second quarter pans out here. So Bone with it, now Bennett, and then good work by McLeod. And McLeod able to get that one and now gets the 2. Nice work by Harry McLeod, who just beat Tommy Bennett there on speed, and now a travel violation here on Chaplin. So Mounter to restart. Hay able to intercept. Yeah, here's Collins coming up the floor, trying to work Lockie Simons there a little bit, but Simons equal to the challenge. Collins tries to pass away and get it back himself, goes up for the shot. Inadvertently, probably not the right choice there, as Lennon now puts up the runner and gets the 2 to go. So now margin out to 9 here. And Southern Wolves just need to get a bit of composure here and try to work their way back in. So now a little bit of pressure. And now Bone able to settle here. And then a poor pass. And Davey with it. So we come up the floor. And then good hands by Bone. And Bone off and running. A wraparound pass does not work for Bennett. But Leonard will pick that one off. And Simons comes back down the floor here with it. So Lennon, now Davey. Mounter down low. Uses his body well. Can't get the 2 to go. Here's Bone. Now Bennett once again. Bone trying to work his way through. Nice step through. Can't get it to go. Hay and Len there on the boards. Jump ball called. Riley Banks looking to come back in. And Tommy Bennett's going to have a breather. So, some good minutes there by Tommy Bennett. And is there some blood or is there something there? No, Nick Draper trying to check something there. But we're all clear. So McLeod coming down with now. Simons. Lennon looking for McLeod off that curl cut. So McLeod puts it to the floor, splits for a couple, goes himself. Can't get the 2 to go. Hay with the rebound. Now Collins up the floor here to Chaplin, who tried to go to Banks, and then McLeod swatted that one out of here. And good job. So 8 minutes remaining. We're only 2 minutes in. Southern Wolves to restart. Bone goes to Banks. Banks thought about it. Banks putting on some moves. Now down low to Bone. Bone needs to kick it out. Collins. One step drill for the 2, can't go. Mounted with the board and then Bone reaching in. And drew the foul. So McLeod bringing it down. Thinking about his options. So Lennon, now Simons. Some good play here by Hobart Phoenix. Down low to Mount, who gathers himself, goes up, rejected by Hay, but done illegally according to referee Marie French. A bit of body in that one. And a bit of harm as well too. And timeout being called by Coach Corey Davey. 2.5 minutes in here, 7:29 remaining. 23-14, Hobart Phoenix leader by 9. So a bit of a stagnant start in this one. Or in the second quarter, I should mention. Both teams, Hobart trying to get their running game established a little bit here. And Wolves just still trying to figure out what they kind of need to do on the offensive end. Defensively, they need to do a little bit of job trying to communicate and talk a little bit more there. Just not allowing anything too easily for Hobart. Meanwhile, Corey Davey working the whiteboard from what I can see on the other side. And certainly be telling the troops here to just keep it simple, keep it structured, and just play within their system. But a good crowd in, again, as we mentioned throughout the broadcast. Crowds have been building up throughout the day. And of course we have the other court in action as well too. We've all the Shield finals. And we are covering the championship grand finals here today and tomorrow in the girls as well too. So a big weekend of hoops. And we do have our effects mic on, so we can give you some sounds of the game as well too. So probably a bit of cluttering or balls or people moving around in the background. So McLeod, I'm not sure if that's an injury issue or if it's something else. Looks like he's going to duck off to the change room. There's Campbell Mounter at the line for 2. Can't get that first one to go. We'll keep an eye on Harry McLeod and just see what's happening there. And Mounter can't make the second on that one either. So margin still at 9, 23-14 as we come back down the floor here. So Bone into, well, we want to go to Chaplin, does now. Simons with some good pressure, able to get deflection. Mounter into Lennon, and good work there by Hobart Phoenix as Lennon gets the 2. Now we're out to 11 points here. This is threatening if we're not careful to be a bit of a blowout. But Hay, now Banks. Chaplin thought about it, now back to Banks once again. Shot clock at 10 here for the Southern Wolves. Banks looks for an opening, has to retreat back. Now Chaplin open for 3, can't get that. Collins with the O board and the putback. So Davey up the floor here to Simons as Banks, and he crashes into his own team bench. Lennon for 3 is short on that one. Mounter trying to save it, and then Banks from behind, or was ball out of play, or was it a foul? Ball might have went out first, I think, before the foul. So substitutions galore for both teams. So now Wolves bring it up the floor here through Banks. Banks working hard here. Again, double teamed. Hay, now Bone. Bone puts it to the floor. Gives it off to Bartels. Back to Banks. Banks with some moves of himself. Tries going to Bartels there. Couldn't get it. And now Len able to pick it up, and away we go down the other end. So Simons. He's chopping. Goes for 3. That's way off. And his Bone able to pick this one up. So Bone inside to Bartels. Tries to give it off to Collins. Just a little rushed on that one. And ball out of bounds. Harry McLeod coming back in. Seems to be everything's okay. So Eden chopping will come off. Collins to restart. Bartels. Now Banks. Shot clock at 10 once again. So Wolves need to get busy here. Collins working his way through, puts it up, can't get the 2 to go. Bone in there for the rebound, and then Simons able to get it, and then some good hands here by Wolves. Bodies hit the floor, And then all of a sudden, Lennon and Bartels want to go at it. And it'll be technical on Ryan Bartels, who just got a bit too fired up, the big fella. And he's going to have a breather and probably just needs to cool down. And, yeah, that's... And the team manager there for Sunwolves doing a good job of just bringing him back to life. Or, sorry, bringing him back down to earth, really. To try to describe that the best way I can. Apologies to Bartels, and if he does watch this back. So, Will Davey will take the technical free throw. And nothing malice in the play, just a normal play. Bodies hit the floor, and then, you know, nothing really happening there, you know, from that. I think just a little bit of fire up, but not a bad thing. That might just get your team going. We'll see what happens. Hay goes for three. Yes. And maybe, just maybe, that little scuffle there might just give the Sunwolves a bit of fire. We'll see how Hobart Phoenix respond. Good defensive pressure here by the Wolves. Things starting just to pick up a little bit, but a foul on the play. Felt like we're in a stagnant kind of flat type of moment. And all of a sudden things have just picked up here. Margin back to 7, 26-19. Substitutions as Eden Hills comes back in. Callum Mounter will have a breather. And Harry McLeod to restart. As Hills goes to Lennon for the 2. Lennon short on the shot. Now Banks. And then a foul on Will Davey as Banks was trying a behind the back move there. Halfway through this second quarter, 5 minutes remaining. One more foul from Southern Wolves. We'll see Hobart Phoenix at the line. Meanwhile, Hobart still got 2 to give before the penalty. Collins, spin move, puts up the shot, gets the use of a friendly roll. Back to 5 now. 26-21, and another turnover here by Hobart Phoenix. So momentum just swinging here. Maybe just a flat period here for the Hobart Phoenix boys. We'll see how they pick it up here in these last 4 and a bit minutes. So Banks trying to work McLeod, and that will be a foul. It's going to be on Harry McLeod. Banks to restart. Now Collins getting double teamed. Collins goes baseline, puts up the shot, and drew another foul, which will be Hobart's 4th. That's on Will Davey. So both teams now at 4 fouls. Next one will be at the line. Referee Nick Draper explaining to Will Davey what he might have done wrong. As Collins misses the first. And Collins makes the second. So back to 4 here, 26-22 before the major break. As Hills. Now Simons puts it to the floor, found an opening, goes off glass, can't get it. Hills with the O board. In the rebound by Bennett. He tried to go to Banks, was unsuccessful. Then Collins able to deflect that one away. Collins goes up, can't get it to go. Banks there for the rebound. Bennett there. Bodies hit the floor once again, and that will be a foul on Riley Banks. So Eden Hills at the line for 2. Some Wolves in a bit of a huddle. Hills misses the first. Makes the second. Back to a 5-point ball game. As Collins comes up the floor, here's Bennett. Bennett looking to go explore, but took one too many steps, and that is a travel. So, interesting to see that some Wolves just dropping back here a bit. You maybe think maybe a bit of extensive pressure here just to maybe round out the quarter, but they'll stick to their guns here. There's Davey. Now Hills, in turn Simons. Simons, Davey for three. Can't get that to go. Now foul on the play here. And that's going to, not sure if that was on Banks. I think that might have been on Banks. So we're walking down to the other end now. Oh, sorry, that wasn't on Banks. That was on, trying to pick up who that foul was on there. Might have been on Lennon. There's Jasper Hay at the line for two. Jasper Hay play his basketball in New Norfolk and has come up through the ranks, and again, good to see him playing in rep ball, which is great. Makes 2 of 2. Marching back to 3 here. Simons. Now Hills. Davey, ball getting moved around a fair bit here by Hobart. McLeod finds that gap, puts up the shot. Can't get it to go. Good look though. As Bone got the rebound now. Collins, we're going to, before we're going to tread that sideline again, but able to get it through the middle. Now Banks puts it to the floor. Step back, hesitation, spin move. It is good for Riley Banks. Great basketball move by the young fella, and gets to 2 to go. Simons. Now Hills. Hobart running that kind of motion, handoff type play. Can't get that to happen though on the turnover. So back to 1 point here. Now Bone, as both teams settle it down. Now Hay, and travel once again. So just shuffling those feet. Charlotte Collins the same, put the ball to the floor first before moving your feet. And again, just those basic fundamentals that these players just need to really clean up on. That'd be very helpful indeed. So Lennon goes to McLeod on the cut. McLeod getting nearly triple team. Hills now, Davey thought about it. Davey working his way inside, needs to give an option. Try to go to Lennon, but Bone equal to it. And now Bone coming up the floor here. So the ball with Banks. Banks driving his way in. Can't get the 2 to go. And then nearly got his own rebound on that one. But anyway, Davey up the floor. Good defensive play by the Wolves. Ball goes out of play. And then Bone able to get it back. And now Bone needs to get it off. Hay into Collins. Collins, and the 8-second violation. So quick turn of events there, which nearly swallowed a momentum swing. Hobart able to just settle on this play and see how they go. So McLeod, here's Lennon. Lennon getting well pressured, and that's double dribble. Good defensive pressure by Jacoby Bone. And the two state team members go at each other in what is a very good matchup here this afternoon. Collins, and a foul will be called here on McLeod. So Jackson Collins at the line for 2, but before that, substitutions. Airden Shopping is going to come back into the ball game, and McLeod are going to have Braver. Collins knocks down the free throw. We are tied at 27. 90 seconds to play here for the major break. And Simon's now with it into Lennon. Hills. Davey puts it to the floor. Has to kick it out. Simons goes baseline. Another kick out pass. A lot of drive kick here from this Hobart team. Now Hills, and travel violation called. Again, a little shuffle of the feet. And another turnover here. So Collins now banks to bring us over. And then a poor pass there, chopping over to pick that one off. So Davey coming down the floor here. Lennon works his way inside. Can't get the turnaround show to go. Bennett with the rebound. Bennett off and running. Gives it off to Bone. Bone has Davey to beat. And offensive foul has been called. And we'll see if the score is waived. I believe the score was waived. No, no shots. No shots. The bench there just getting that. The bench correct, saying, oh, it's 5-team fouls, but no, we don't shoot on offensive fouls. Meanwhile, Simon's with it down on court. Here's Davey working his way through. Pulls up from about elbow range. Can't get that to go. And Southern Wolves with another opportunity here. Can they retake the lead, or can Hobart get a stop before the end of the half? So Collins goes himself, and it was a good option for Jackson Collins, who gets the two. And now Hobart need to play a score here to tie it all up, or take the lead if they want to. Simons goes baseline, has an opening. Hills puts it to the floor, and again another travel, and it's that shuffle and a little bit of a jump there. So timeout called here by Charlotte Collins with 4.9 remaining. I assume they'll draw up a Hail Mary play of some sorts here. And yeah, it's just some fundamental errors. It's like, must put the ball to the floor first before you move those feet. And that's what's catching a couple players out in Hay, who's been caught a few times for travels for some Wolves, and now in Hills has joined the happy feet party. But I'm sure they'll rectify that at halftime anyway. I'm sure both coaches will make sure of that. So again, a good crowd in. As we mentioned, we've got players from the Hobart Chargers here today. We've got the Jack Jumpers head coach Scott Roth in attendance as well too. So all sorts of people in the building. So great to see. And some of the young players there having a bit of a chat to Marie French about something there. But I digress. So it'll be interesting to see. Bone's going to inbound. They've sent Bennett and Collins down to probably each of the wings here, and then you've got Banks and Hay up on the front line. Let's see here if this is a anything play or a real nothing play. So Collins goes itself, and on the halftime buzzer knocks it down. That's a huge swing, and now all of a sudden Southern Wolves lead it by 5 on a miracle play from Jackson Collins. It's Southern Wolves 32, Hobart Phoenix 27 here at halftime. Yeah, something there on the dry. All right, second half underway here as we're trying to organise catering around the joint. Ball goes out of bounds. Of course, we've just had Basketball Tasmania General Manager of the South, Gareth Allen, up here, just having a quick chat to us off camera. And certainly he's enjoyed what he has seen so far on both courts, and really great to see some good basketball being played today across all age groups. McLeod with the ball now. Lennon, in turn Davey. Davey's step back three is just over everything. Play continues because it didn't hit any of the support systems, so you keep on playing. Now Banks off and running. Great running by Riley. Banks for the two. Great pass by Bone. And now all of a sudden this lead has gone back to 7 after at one stage Hobart Phoenix were up by at least 6 or 7 midway through the first half. So Hills. Now Lennon back to Hills here. Hills trying to find that opening. Nice move by Eden Hills. Jackson Collins won an offensive foul, but referees didn't see it that way. It was good use of the body by Eden Hills. There's Banks has it now. So margin back to 5 here. Here's Bennett. Bennett puts it to the floor. Looking to kick out. Bone open for 3. Yes. So Davey down the floor here. Now Hills, and a quick foul there on Jackson Collins. So that might be his 4th personal. So he's treading a fine line here. He has to play smart now. And I think, yeah, Charlotte Collins probably making the right move there to try and get him off in the next phase. So Bone working his way through. Good defensive work by McLeod. So Banks. Now here's Collins. So Collins playing with 4 fouls. Spin move, turnaround J is not good. And then Bone nearly recovered. And now Chaplin will come in for Collins. Now, and the question will be, how long does Collins sit out for? Picked up his 4th here early on in his 3rd quarter, so he will sit for quite a while, I'd imagine. Meanwhile, McLeod puts it to the floor. Step through move to Davey for 3. Just long on that one. And then last touch by Banks, so Hobart to get it back here. So McLeod to restart us. And foul on the play, and Chaplin and Davey. And a double technical will be called here. So a few words exchanged after the foul. So we have a foul on the play and then a double technical for the bit of the exchange. So, and they both cancel each other out. So no free throws, just Phoenix get the ball back. And a foul on the play here. So Lennon pulls up from the baseline and able to knock down a 2. So work by Charlie Lennon. Margin back at 6 here, 37-31. Wolves still lead this game. So they found their way back into it after a bit of a flat patch in that first half. Now Bennett works his way through. Nice aggressive drive by the young fella. Can't get it to go. Land with the rebound. Now Simons. And then turnover there. So now Bone goes up and gets the 2 to go. So margin at 8, 31-39. There's McLeod. Looking to go here. Tries to go spin move. Able to recover from that and banks it off the window. So back to 6 here. A little bit of up and down action as we continue in this under-16 boys final. Coming to you from the Kingborough Sports Centre. As Banks works his way through, splits for a couple. Nice hands from Charlie Lennon. Lennon has his teammate in Bone to beat, who are state members. And Lennon gets the 2 to go. Nice work by Charlie Lennon. And then Hay, now Bennett able to recover. Bennett with some fast feet, that is for sure. Now Bone to slow this one down. Now Bennett once again on the other side of the floor now. Shot clock at 6. Need to get busy as Bone needs to put something up. And 1 left on the shot clock. No foul on the play. Good defensive work by Hobart Phoenix. And timeout called. 6:15 remaining. 35 plays 39. So an interesting third quarter already. Couple exchanges, a couple of technicals, and some good some good basketball up and down each end of the floor here. So doing really well. So. West Coast Ball Connection. So play to restart here with Bone. 1 left on the shot clock. So some Wolves must get a quick shot up here. They're looking for Banks. Banks with a quick trigger. Nearly got it on the shot clock buzzer. Wasn't able to hit it. Now the ball with Simons. Now Davey. Oh, sorry, that was McLeod, sorry. Apologies there. Now Hills works his way through. Drew a few defenders at him. And Eden Hills will go to the line for 2. Eden Hills back at the line here for 2. Can't get that one to go. We're back at a 4-point ball game, 39-35. Bone getting pressured. Now we're able to get that pass out to Chaplin. Banks into Bennett. Bennett tries some moves and then a foul on the play here. And that's going to be on Campbell Mounter. So ball will be on the baseline. So Wolves to restart. Bennett open for 3. Yes. Tommy Bennett from downtown. And margin out to 7 here, 42-35. As McLeod, nice pass in the Mounter for the 2. Nice patient play there and a good response by Hobart Phoenix. Banks to Bennett as some Wolves are off and running. Back-to-back baskets for Tommy Bennett. And they're doing a good job without Jackson Collins out on the floor at the moment. He's got 4 fouls, so he would definitely sit for a longer period as McLeod with the response. End-to-end stuff here at the Kingborough Sports Centre in this under-16 boys grand final. Just on, and Charlotte Collins barking out the instructions. Now the ball down low to Bennett once again. Try to go to Banks, who I don't think was ready for that quick 1-2 hit. And now McLeod to bring it up. Margin at 5. Can we bring it back within a single field goal? As McLeod runs into a bit of traffic and then Bennett on the floor able to get it. Hay now able to recover. Chaplin needs to put it to the floor and does. Nearly lost a handle, able to recover. And Banks needs to slow this one down. And now there is a clock issue. So Nick Draper understanding where the shot clock would be at or the time or the game time. Of course, we given him the nickname of Omega. For those that are wondering, Omega is the official time partner of FIBA. And if you saw in the Olympic Games in Tokyo, the referees had a device on the back which can control the time, and I believe the whistles can also control the time as well too. And we know Nick Draper for his clock scoreboard management with the score table official. So he's right on the money and clearly explaining to fellow colleague there, referee Murray French, about it all. Timeout being called here. Will Corey Davey bringing his troops in. So margin at 5 here. 44-39. Yes. All good. I'm just quickly going to tell my cameraman he can have a break at 3/4 time, because I'll send him off for lunch. Yeah. And I'll give you, yeah. In 4.5 minutes. As we're just, apologies there, as we're just quickly working out break times and galore. I'll do a bit of double duty in the 4th quarter and do a bit of camera work and commentary, while we send Abiy off to a bit of lunch, and then he can come back for the under-18 final after that. So, of course, the under-18 final up next. Grenadiers taking on C7 Glenorchy, which should be a good game. Of course, that features a couple of boys who do feature in the Chargers side, and we'll again point that out later on throughout the game. So Bones a restart. Down low into Hay. Hay now going to work on Simons, and yeah, just again a jump on the feet there, and just some good defensive pressure by Simons, who was able to force Hay into a travel. 4.5 remaining. Again, a good crowd in. Everybody here having a bit of a look at these grand finals. Banks, Lennon for 3. Can't get the 3 to go. Hay with the rebound. Now Bone finds Banks on that other side as Banks comes back to the middle of the floor here. So Hay now in term to Chaplin, and then this ball slowly getting passed around. Bone working his way in. Good pass into Bennett on the cut. And another basket for Tommy Bennett. He enjoyed that one just by looking at his facial expression. And an offensive foul's been called. And that's going to be on Campbell Mounter for an illegal screen. Just moved, it looked like, from what I can understand, moved the hips there, or just moved slightly, which was enough to impede the player. So therefore an offensive foul has been called. Ball quickly up the floor here. Chaplin trying to put on some moves. Now kicks it out. Banks thought about it. Banks putting it to the floor. And needs to... The ball got deflected by Lennon. So sub-Wolves to get it back. So Bone now, Hay down low. Kick out to Banks from deep. I was going to say that's from Hulmill itself. That's, you're talking Tad Duffelmeyer range from that, if we're thinking of Chargers perspective. At least that, or Cohen Sapwell or Jack Purchase or Chargers players of the lights. Meanwhile here, it's McLeod working his way through, puts up a tough shot, can't get it to go. Mounted there, able to tap that one away. And now all of a sudden Simons, and that will be a foot violation. Shot clock at 14. Speaking of that, Jack Purchase in the crowd here. 2 from the Hobart Chargers. Good to see the Hobart Chargers boys are in the house. Having a bit of a look today. Simons. Now Lennon. Good pass into Hills. Hills puts up the shot. Drew the foul. Good patient play there by Hobart Fangs. Just drawing that player in and allow that little cut inside there for the 2. So Eden Hills back in line again. He's had a solid game. And he's done well to get back to the free throw line once again. I think this is his 6th, 7th appearance at the free throw. Makes the second. Margin back to 5 once again, 46-41. So Bone thought about it. Now inside here, nice move by Chaplin. That is a Great move by the young fella. Really caught everyone out on that. And that is some good basketball right there. So Hobart Phoenix, can they respond on this play? Mounter working his way down low, spin move himself, puts up the shot and gets it to go. Nice work there by Campbell Mounter, who gets the 2, and we're still at a 5-point ball game. Now Bone puts it down to the floor, needs options, goes to Bennett. Bennett steps through and drew the foul. So that's assessed on Eden Hills. So Tommy Bennett will go back to the line for 2. 2:15 remaining in the third. Getting some Wolves in a bit of a huddle. As Bennett can't get the free throw to go. There's a nice little crowd building up here. So great to see all the mums, dads, families out here today supporting their sons. It's great to see. It was a fun time with junior basketball in grand finals as the free throw goes for Bennett. So McLeod now to Hills. Chopping, puts it to the floor, puts up the shot, can't get that to go. And then it was last touch by Bone. He was stating a case, but I think referee Nick Draper won't take any bar of it. So McLeod to restart. Chopping for 3, and that missed everything. So Bone went to Bennett and then back to him, and then great play by the Southern Wolves as Chaplin makes the 2. And now this margin is back to 8. McLeod puts it to the floor, try to go to pass, but too many hands there. Now Bennett off and running. You can see the term alley, kind of want an alley play. Good teamwork by the Southern Wolves. That was Bennett, Banks and Bone all combining there in one. And now we're out to a 10-point ball game here. So dangerous time here for Hobart Phoenix. They need to get a basket, but right now, and then a quick foul there on Hills. So really the momentum has swung. And now Hobart Phoenix need to dig deep here and try to get this back within single digits before the 3/4 time break. So Bailey Chaplin at the line here for 2 free throws. Can't get the first one to go. Now Hobart Phoenix in their huddle. And now they quickly come out. Can't make the second. Lennon with the rebound. Now McLeod. Hills. So Lennon looking inside. Mounter down low. 1-on-1 with Hay. Puts up the shot. Can't get that to go. Good rebound by Hills. And then Mounter still working at it, but Hayes was also there too. Now Bennett coming up the floor here as the Southern Wolves slow this one down here. And now Bone just checking the clock. And now goes. Kick out pass. Chaplin. Banks this time. In and out on that one. As Mounter with the rebound and then a foul on Bennett, who can't believe it, but the foul was there, which will send McLeod to the line for 2. So McLeod makes the first. These are kind of crucial free throws here at this part of the game. And can't make the second though. So margin it back to 9, 32 flat remaining here. And Hobart Phoenix to get it back. McLeod to restart. Lennon. Now back to McLeod here. McLeod trying to look, going baseline. Nice spin move into Mounter for the 2. Yes. So a steadying basket there sees it back to 7 here. Last play of term number 3. Now Hay, Chaplin. They're slowing this one down. Banks needs to get busy here. Game clock at 1. Hay from deep. Not there. 3/4 time here. Summer Wolves lead it by 7, 53-46. We'll come back with the 4th with you in just a moment. Final quarter just about to get underway here. Summer Wolves lead it by 7. And Jackson Collins will come out onto the floor here. He has got 4 fouls, so let's see how long that does last for. But I'm sure he's been told to play smart and not do anything that may get himself a 5th foul. So we will see what happens. And can Hobart Phoenix make a run in this last quarter to see if they can come from behind and steal this one? It will certainly be an interesting last quarter here. So they're just working out. Yep, they've got it right. So just working on the possession arrow. And we are underway here in this last quarter with Banks with it. Now Bone inside there to Chaplin, who's been pinned for a 3-second violation. That's a second 3-second violation call for today. Again, it's a rare call that we see. But it's still a rule, that's for sure. So Davey, now Mounter with it. In terms Simons, down low in the Lennon. Lennon goes himself and gets the 2. Nice work by Charlie Lennon, who opens up scoring here for Hobart Phoenix in this 4th quarter. Now Bone with it as we come back down the other end of the floor. Puts up the shot, he can't get it to go. Now McLeod, who just waited patiently there. Now up the floor here through Davey. Davey goes himself, can't get the miraculous 2 to go. Goes down pretty hard, but he seems to be okay. Now Bone. Bone comes down the floor here. And then goes to Banks on the alley-oop type play. And a foul will be assessed here on Campbell Mountain. So Riley Banks at the line here. Margin is at 5. 9:07 remaining. Can't make the first. And Banks makes the second. So back down the floor we come. So the ball with Simons. Down low to Lennon. Now Mounter in term Davey. Back to Len down low as we work our way through. Shot clock at 8. Now McLeod needs to put it and gives it to Davey. Can't get the play to go. Good board by Mounter. And then a loose turnover there by Hobart Phoenix. Banks goes up and draws the foul. And he'll go to line for 2. So Riley Banks back at the line once again. So this has been an interesting start by both teams. And certainly can just feel like Hobart Phoenix have got a run in them. You know, see what happens here. Bone with the O board. And then Davey able to deflect that. He's off and running. Gives it off to McLeod. McLeod into Lennon. Lennon puts up the shot and gets the 2 to go. Great work by Charlie Lennon. Hobart need to get up and in on some extensive pressure here. Bone stuck at halfway. Gives it off to Hay. Now in turn to Banks as we slow this one down a little bit. And Banks just try to find a settler here. As they trail by five, as they lead by 5. Collins with a shot, can't get the 2 to go. Lennon with the board. Now McLeod as we come up the floor here. And then gives it off to Davey. Davey puts up the 2, can't get that one to go either. So some easy ones probably missed, you would say. Here's Banks that puts up the 2 and gets it to go. He'll go to the line for 1. That will be assessed on Lockie Simons. And Riley Banks once again returns to the free throw line. So margin is hovering around that 7 to 8 point margin as Banks can't get that free throw to go and Hobart Phoenix to get it back. So crucial time here in the game, you would think, for Hobart Phoenix, just to get this back within, 4 to 3 points and, see if they can make a good run at this, which we're hoping to see, but they just got to stay patient on their offensive end. Corey Davey probably won't be happy with that possession. And now the extensive pressure needs to come from this Hobart team. So Bone goes cross court. Hay at the corner here. Goes to Banks. So Banks puts it to the floor. Goes up, and the up and under is good by Riley Banks. So ball getting moved around here by Hobart Phoenix. Here's McLeod. McLeod working his way through. Can't get the 2 to go. Good O-board by Campbell Mounter, who will get the and 1 on that play. And we'll go to the line for one more free throw. Good O-board there by Campbell Mounter, who played domestic basketball last year for Hobart Phoenix and has been well rewarded playing in the championship team now here for Hobart Phoenix in the under-16 boys. So really good to see he's made that step up here. McLeod can't get the 2 to go. Bone with it. Now Collins. Collins coming down the floor. So Collins looking for a bit of a play call here, trying to get the players to move around. So Banks here. Putting it to the floor. Now Bone for 3. Looks good. Doesn't get it. Hay with it. And then the 2 back to Bone on the cut. So some nice patience there by the Southern Wolves, who are able to get that basket to go in the end there. So Mounter. Now Simons puts it to the floor. Lennon thought about it. Spin move on Bone, but a travel violation's been called. And Eden Hills is coming back in. Campbell Mounter will have a rest. And timeout has been called by Coach Corey Davey. Margin out to 9 here. 6:21 remaining. So it'll be interesting to see what Hobart do from this point here as they try and chip away this margin. And this, if they can work their way back in it within, say, 5 or 4 to go, with about 4 or 3 to go, it should set us up well here. But for some Wolves, you'll be trying to keep that extensive pressure there a little bit, and then trying to, again, keep being patient on the offensive end and getting those good looks that they have been getting. So, a lot to play for here, that is for sure. Again, coming up next, it's the under-18 boys grand final. Glenorchy taking on Grenadiers. I'm just having a bit of a pan around the court. See Phoenix Roby down there. And we'll see most of the Grenadier boys down there as well too. We'll have presentations coming up for you as well. So again, we'll keep our sound effect mic on, and we'll try to pick up as much of that as we can. So Bone to restart. So Collins works his way in. Turnaround Jay, can't get it to go. Lennon with the board. Now with McLeod. So McLeod coming up the floor here. Again, get a little bit of pressure. Lennon open layup. is good for Charlie Lennon. And quickly up the floor here is Banks, but then good job by Hobart Phoenix to rally back. And that nearly cost Hobart Phoenix a basket. Back to 7 here. And then, nearly an hour and pass in the end, cost him a turnover. Then quickly up the floor here is Lennon for the 2, and a quick run here. So back to 5 here as the excitement builds. Hey, now Collins. Collins putting it to the floor. Collins working his way over Davey. Yes. So nice settler there after that, got back within 5. Now all of a sudden back out to 7 here, 56-63, as Hobart will need to look to score here on this possession. Simons, Lennon for 3. Just short on that one. Simons with the O board, taps him to Davey. Now Hills. Simons down low to McLeod. Shot clock at 8. Good poise here by Hobart Phoenix as the pass was supposed to go, but didn't work in the end. Here's Bennett working his way through, puts it up, can't get the 2 to go. Hay with the save, but now Lennon with it. Lennon off and running. Lennon with bone to beat, puts up the 2, can't get it to go. Rebound by Collins as we come back up the floor here for the Sunwolves. Some end-to-end stuff as we need to get our comments quick. McLeod and Collins held up the ball for a jump ball. So Bone into Collins and out of court. Again, that light blue line. So ball getting moved around. Simons with it here at the 45. Down low in the Lennon. Lennon looking to go to work against Bone. Now Simons for the mid-range 2 is good. Nice shot by Lockie Simons there, marching back to 5. As again, extensive pressure up the floor here, but Sunwolves equal to it. As Collins goes baseline, tough make as it does a lap of honour to go in. And that margin stays out at 7 here. 4 minutes remaining here in this last quarter. As we come to you from the Kingborough Sports Centre by the West Coast Ball Connection YouTube channel. Nice play. Davey into Lennon. Great 1-2 hit. Charlotte Collins sees enough. Marching back at 5, 3:53 remaining. And this game ain't over yet by a long stretch. Yep, you're not wrong. So both teams just about to come back out of their huddles. So Sunwolves back out. They've got Bennett, Banks, Hay, Bone and Collins. Meanwhile, Lennon, McLeod, Davey, Hills and Simons. So all back to our original starting 5s here for this last 3 and a bit minutes. So Bennett with it now. Gives it back to Banks. Banks works his way through, goes middle, good hands by Simons, who does a good job there, and then bodies hit the floor, able to avoid that light blue line. Again, more hands. Feel like more bodies there for some reason. Meanwhile, McLeod. Now Lennon. Turn Davey. Davey puts it to the floor, goes middle, puts up a tough runner, can't get it to go. Bone with the rebound. And then Bone runs out of room. And there was a quick kind of conference there between the referees, and Hobart do get it back here. So Lennon puts it to the floor. Spin move, tough shot, rejected by Bone. Good defensive play. Now, McLeod puts up a tough 2. Can't get that to drop. Now Bone back with it once again. Here's Hay. Now in turn, Collins. So Collins working his way through. Runner can't get it. Simons with the rebound. Quickly up the floor here through Davey. In turn, Lennon into McLeod. And patient on that play, gets the 2 to go. So back to 3 here, 65-62. Collins. Now Hay. Hay to Bone, as some Wolves probably need to get a score on this possession here. Nearly runs out of room, turnover, and then Lennon steps out of bounds. So some twists and turns here at the Kingborough Sports Centre. 2:16 remaining. So Banks. Banks working his way through. So Collins gets stuck, but turnaround Jay can't get the roll to go. Bennett came over the top, but the foul will be assessed on Hills. Probably push first maybe from what I'm seeing there. So Collins, now Banks, back to Collins here. So Collins working his way through, looking for an option, goes to Bennett. Bennett tries to go over Lennon, can't get that to go. Bone with the O board and gets the putback. Margin back to 5 here. Under 100 seconds remaining here. Term number 4. Hobart need to score and keep this within a single basket. Simons down low to Lennon. Lennon working his way through. Now Davey puts it to the floor, kicks it out, Hills. Now McLeod. McLeod pulls up, can't get that runner to go. And then good work there by the Wolves to box out. And then ball now with Hay. So Hay, and then good work by Simons there to deflect it. So minute 15 remaining. And timeout has been called by head coach Corey Davey. So I'll make some adjustments here and see if we can get this one back within the basket. So plenty happening around the courts here with minute 15 to go. And everyone trying to find a seat as well too, starting to fill up around the stands around here. As it's... We don't want anyone falling down. So, oh right, there we go. Oh dear, a bit of well, not drama, but a bit of fun up here in the grandstands. Where we're sitting, we have a nice view as well too, and of course everyone trying to find a seat. We're all here for probably the under-18 boys final coming up, which is next. We'll have presentations after this game as well too. So plenty happening up here on court. And both teams coming out of the huddle. So some Wolves lead it by 5, 67-62. Cameraman is back. He can have lunch though. He more than well, please have lunch. And the company card. Oh, thank you very much. Oh, okay, no worries. Thank you very much. Play to restart here. Lennon with the quick steal and the 2. So that was timely needed there by Hobart Phoenix. Back to 3 points. Collins, now here's Bone. In terms of Banks, as some Wolves want to slow this one down here. As Collins puts it to the floor. Offensive foul. And that will be Jackson Collins' 5th personal. He's out of the game. So Chaplin to come back in, who's been solid throughout, but that's a huge blow there for the Southern Wolves. And we'll see what happens now. So McLeod, now Davey. So Davey puts it to the floor. Here's Hills. Simons back to Hills, and a travel violation's occurred and a technical foul's been assessed on Corey Davey. Corey Davey just a bit frustrated and unfortunately just took his anger out on the chair there. And yes, just under codes of conduct. Yeah, just can't wreck property, but I can understand Corey's frustration there. And again, just a fundamental error, that's all it was. So nothing malice in that. But the free throw, a technical free throw being knocked down, and we'll move on here. 45.9. 4 points is the margin. Hobart can get another stop here. And let's see if they can convert. So Banks. And then the turnover there by McLeod. So McLeod got Banks to beat, goes up. Some good defensive play though by Banks. Bennett able to get it. Now kicks it off to Bone. Now Bone coming down the floor, nearly lost it, but then goes to Hay, and then Lennon just runs out of room in the end. And the ball to come back here to the Southern Wolves. So Banks to restart here, 27.5. Now, Bone with it, shot clock at 10. Bone looking at his options. Here's Chaplin with it. Now back to Bennett, and then ball goes out of play, and the ball goes out of bounds. So Hobart can either get a quick 2, or they can go for it, and then maybe we'll have to foul and send some Wolves to the line. So McLeod puts it to the floor. McLeod working his way through. Lennon for 3. Can't get that one to go. Banks with it now, and then the quick foul here. And that looks like it's Will Davies' 5th personal. So Will Davey out of the game. And we come back down to the other end here. And Edson Chopping will come back in for the final 4.6 seconds. Banks can't get that one to go. Can't get the second to go. Lennon pulls that one down. Ball quickly up the floor here, but Chaplin, and that will do it. And the Southern Wolves get a win in what has been a very well-contested game. They win it by 4, 68-64. Congratulations to both teams making it through to the final. But well done to Southern Wolves on getting the win when they were down early, and able to pull that one back and get the win. We'll make our way to the presentations now, and then that will pretty much wrap us up for this game of the Under 16 Boys Grand Final.
Next up on the presentations here, ladies and gentlemen, for the Under 16 Boys Grand Final. So, congratulations to both teams in that quarter to the final. Congratulations to Hobart Phoenix. Congratulations to some Wolves. And on the corner, the head coach of the Hobart Phoenix, Corey Riggs, and Hampton to come forward in 10 minutes over the second row. Will Davey. Corey Davey. And decision and thank you. Well spoken, Harry. So runners up division, championship division. The U16 girls final is Hobart Phoenix. Okay, one. Now the head coach of the Southern Wolves, Charlotte Collins, the captain, Jason Wilson, Lucas, coming up. When you